are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Words, Mr. Wordsworth, that have no substance and no dimension, like air, like the wind.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions that you inject into your veins to make you think you have a strength when you have no strength at all. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
Hello, friends. Alex Jones here with a special report. It is September 1st, 2010, and a lone nut Malthusian eugenicist environmentalist named James J. Lee, of course, has taken over with a firearm and reportedly may have explosives the Maryland-based offices of the Discovery Channel. He's been protesting them on and off, according to his own website, for more than 2 years. He said that after he saw an inconvenient truth by Al Gore that he felt that he had to do this, when Al Gore is openly invested in carbon credits that were developed by Enron and Ken Lay and people like Bernie Madoff on record with Al Gore. They know exactly what they're doing. There are real environmental problems that are serious, and the establishment could care less about that. They're using fear-mongering about human overpopulation and some of the real problems that are out there from pollution and toxic waste as a pretext to bring in neo-feudalism, serfdom, modern slavery to cut off the resources of the general public. All the establishment is doing is taking normal human concern about their environment and training us to turn off our survival mechanism so the establishment can teach us that we're bad and evil. As the Club of Rome said back in 1991, as the CFR said just last year, they're teaching us to hate ourselves so the establishment has a pretext in their war economy to now make us the enemy and selectively shut down industries and businesses that aren't part of the global mafia cabal. Remember a few months ago, we saw the case in Argentina where the father and mother killed themselves, but first fired high-caliber bullets into the chest of their little baby that, thank God, survived. But I just want to say this. Don't kill yourself for the elite, okay? All these people that are training you with mind control to want to kill yourself or kill your fellow man or that you have no value, they just greedily want the earth and its resources for themselves. We literally have hundreds of Rockefeller and Carnegie Endowment and UN documents like this one. The Rockefeller Foundation 1988 annual report breaks down creating tetanus shots that have a female hormone added to it to sterilize women. And it also causes a lot of female problems and results in death many times. What the UN get caught doing 7 years later in Africa, Latin America, and Asia? Giving them these shots to sterilize them. They first called for vaccines to have sterilants hidden in them in their 1968 report. Where's this from? Rockefeller Foundation. We have detailed reports at Infowars.com, conclusive global distribution of Rockefeller-funded anti-fertility vaccine coordinated by the World Health Organization. We have all this. We're swimming in it. There's so many red-handed admissions that I can't even cover it all. Do you understand that they are putting chemicals in the printer ink that sterilizes men and gives women cancer, accelerates breast cancer? Do you understand they're putting aspartame in hundreds and hundreds of different drinks and thousands of foods that they know causes brain damage and macular degeneration? Do you understand that they admittedly, with the H1N1 shot, are increasing children having convulsions tenfold and brain damage and sterilizing them? Do you realize this is all admitted by these people? And they've got mind-numbed cult robots taking hostages, trying to kill their children, killing themselves. The public schools are training kids to go home and tell their parents they can't take hot baths or showers, that it's bad for the earth. Prince Charles is saying you shouldn't be allowed to take a shower, shouldn't be allowed to wash your clothes. This is all happening. They're training you to be completely robbed and have your standard of living lowered and then basically be sterilized. China signed deals for the one-child policy with the IMF and World Bank in 1975. This is going to happen here. These people mean business, and they've got a cult of people coming for your property, coming for your kids, coming for your ovaries, coming for your testicles, and this isn't a joke. And instead of just taking hostages or shooting their kid in the chest like Ted Turner and Prince Philip and Al Gore's minions do, they come with the loving doctors who are compartmentalized and mean well, not knowing what's in the vaccines, not knowing the GMO crops have been designed to sterilize you, and every study do reduce fertility. We should have a public debate about this. Do you want to be forcibly sterilized or have your fertility reduced? I mean, do you know that bisphenol A is added to the plastics because they know it's causing infertility? Do you know that that was planned by the UN more than 40 years ago? Are you aware that the White House science czar, John P. Holdren, is an admitted eugenicist, talking about forcibly drugging and sterilizing the population? I'm going to say it again. Don't kill yourselves for the elite because they're a bunch of greedy bastards. Whether the world's overpopulated or not, the issue is no one has a right to be covertly poisoning the food and water supply and to be promoting that humans are inherently evil and parasites. But this is what Dr. Eric Pianka and Peter Singer and countless others promote. And now the hostage suspect, James J. Lee, has been killed by police because they thought he was a danger, and he obviously probably was, and that he may have had bomb-making materials and was holding these people hostage. So I guess at the end of the day, he got what he wanted. Humanity's the enemy, and he's dead, one less evil parasite on the planet. It's so sad because if I could have sat down and deprogrammed this guy and explained to him from the globalists' own documents that they could care less about the environment and are just teaching him to hate humanity so they can play us off against each other, and that we can have a real movement for a healthier planet, he wouldn't have probably done this. This guy is a product of the people he was a fan of. Ted Turner financed books, Al Gore, and you're going to see more and more families kill their kids and kill themselves and do things like this because this is the new globalist religion. Your children are being taught to commit societal but also physical suicide. This is pure sickness. The globalists could care less about the environment. They're training you to love genocide and death. You have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. People killing themselves and shooting their children, and people taking over buildings with guns because the earth, must get rid of the parasite babies, is a load of garbage. And my film, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement, covers it. Please warn everyone you know. This is vital information. This is life and death. And you better get angry about it. You better get upset about it. It is a fact that you're being poisoned and soft-killed. It's not my opinion. Go read their own admissions. For God's sakes, don't be a yuppie and say, well, there are too many of us. Even if you believe that, even if that was true, do you yourself like your kids being poisoned? Cancer off the charts, brain damage off the charts, people 25 getting Alzheimer's, people getting early onset of Parkinson's. You think this is cute? You think losing your eyesight from all these chemicals and biologicals is fun? This isn't a game. The entire world is now controlled by eugenicists. Learn what a eugenicist is. This guy calls himself a Malthusian. That's what founded the eugenicist. You better learn. This is the big secret. This is what it's all about. I'm Alex Jones, defending humanity against the global parasites. You have been warned. To learn more about this and other vital topics, visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast or subscribe to the free podcast at Infowars.com. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want. I need all Info Warriors, anyone in the Northeast, anybody in the Midwest, to go to Pittsburgh now with video cameras. The troops are bought and paid for by offshore banks. Republic is falling right now. They are openly bringing in martial law. They have troops deploying in every major city. We need everybody to go to Pittsburgh who loves this country.
International media, government staffers, and protesters.
The G20 basically represent the largest nations which participate in the Western banking cartel, which I feel is behind a lot of the pain, anguish, and misery that exists in our world today.
This is such a police state there that they tried to talk to the military and talk to a spokesman last night. Defense Link put a press release out, and they said, no, we're not going to talk to you, get out of here. Then they got their license number, had the police pose as Alamo rental car people from the county there, Allegheny County in Pennsylvania. They called them and said, oh, your car's got no brakes, bring it in. And they said, well, we're in the coordinate G20, we're news reporters, we can't get out till tomorrow. And they said, well, that's fine, because I'm a police officer with the Army and FBI, and you've all been put on terror list, and your life's over, boy, and we know you're a terrorist, and you were sneaking around the military base and ran. All lies.
Okay, so I just went over. They're going to have a guy come out and talk to us, or they said they'll get us a number to contact. I think he said the PAO. This is probably him right here.
Briefly, tell folks about last night. You guys pull up to the gate. You asked to talk to the public information officer. They called the police and lied and said that you were sneaking around.
Yes, sir. How's it going? We were responding to a news story that the National Guard was going to be massed to go into Pittsburgh. And could we get a comment on that?
We then pulled off to the side of the road where they instructed us to. We waited around 15 or 20 minutes. A representative came back. Immediately, he was hostile towards us. He did not like our credentials.
We're out of Austin, Texas, Channel 10.
Katie, can I see your credentials?
We tried to get as much information as we could. He refused to answer our questions. So then Rob asked him for his information and where we could contact him. Tomorrow, if we could get a word with him, he then gave it, and we left.
Speech, freelance reporter.
Yes, sir.
You guys have credentials for the G20? I can't, in the middle of the night, you come here tomorrow, we'll see what we can accommodate you. We're not going to...
I mean, we only got a few questions, man.
Yeah, we just have like 4 questions.
The answer's no. I'm not going to comment. No, I'm not. That's okay. We're going to deny the interview. If you get some credentials or get some that I can work with, I'll do the
We didn't run away from anything. By the time that we had left, turned around, and exited the main military facility, there was another car parked on the other side of the road, waited for us to pass, followed us for an exit, then got off. And then we were shocked when Douglas got a call trying to entrap him and have us go return our rental car for quote-unquote 2 more free days. When we didn't fall for that, he then came clean and said he was actually military personnel, and he wanted to know whether or not we were terrorists, Alex.
And then he told Douglas, you're on a list now, pal, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, he did.
With pleasure. You ran from them. Is that true?
Absolutely not.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Public policy would itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
In the not too distant future,
they're closing in.
Already the path has been chosen.
They said the market would drop by 4,000 points, blood would flow in the streets, and lions would be devouring children in the parks of Los Angeles.
Got the same story. It's just FBI training, but it was being...
Do you believe that the military will fire on its people? Fire.
And they're turning their guns on us.
Already the path has been chosen. The design set in motion decades ago. Decades ago. Complete control.
The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.